This episode, we're going to have Lizzie May in here from the perspective of a buyer doing a loan.
Awesome.
Welcome to episode 25 with Lizzie May Kerr. Hi, Lizzie May. How are you?
Hi, good morning. Thanks for having me today.
Oh, been looking forward to it. So, you have been a client of mine over and over and over.
And over and over and over. Yes, I have.
And we've known each other now for, actually, I don't know how long.
I want to say almost 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been working together for
About 8.
7 or 8, yeah.
Met at Canterwood.
Yes.
You worked there. You saw me be me for years.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, and do you know like how we actually started interacting? Like, do you
No.
remember that story? Probably not, because you were at the bar.
Yes.
So at the time I was the event director and I was behind the bar and I was hanging out, and part of my job was to keep members happy.
Yeah.
Because happy members pay dues. And I was like, I need a dentist referral. And you're like, I know this guy.
Oh, that's right.
And you referred me to
Dr. K.
Dr. K, Teeth
Yeah.
by Dr. K. And it was a great referral.
Yeah.
And then I said something like, well, if you're so smart, how about you help me out of this crappy loan situation that I'm in? Because I was trying to do a refi.
Yes.
And you were like, actually, I know a guy. So that's how we got started.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
8 years ago, started alone. So tell me about your home buying process, or not your process. Tell me about the homes you've bought, how many homes you've bought, and just start from zero.
Well, I had the pleasure of buying my first home in the middle of the recession, which you've spoken about, I think, so much on the show and just throughout our friendship. So when I was looking for homes in Southern California with my then husband, we were up against, cash buyers, investors. This was at the end of 2009. So it was really at the bottom of the market. We saw over 100 homes. We put in over 30 offers, and it was terrible. It was a horrible experience. But we ended up on a standard sale and bought our first home down there. We turned it into a rental when we relocated up here. And then I've had 2 homes in Tacoma. We had our second home there, and then went up to a larger home on the water that I loved. And then last year, I just bought my 4th home in Gig Harbor, which I'm so excited to be there.
Yeah.
So I'm on house number 4. All of them fixer-uppers, and ranging from built in 1906 to my newest one is 1994. So brand new.
But your 1906 was not your first house.
No, that was the second one.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Not the third?
The third house was 1912.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You are the project queen. You love these older houses, fixing them up. I've seen some things you've done. You do amazing work. You just dive in and get things done.
Well, I'm not afraid of failure. So
yeah, that's good.
And I've learned that. I've also learned what I'm good at and what I'm not good at. I am not good at trim, right? I'm horrible. I am terrible. I am not that detailed. But if I need to, put down flooring or demo or tiling, like there's other things that I'm good at. So I'm really trying with my most recent home purchase, doing the things that I'm good at and staying away from the things that look like shit once I'm done. So I think I'm getting better.
Yeah. How excited are you for this new home? You've been in it now for about a year?
Yep. I purchased it. I think I'm at 13 months now, but I haven't even hit a year living there because when, as you know, it was pretty much uninhabitable when I purchased it.
Yeah.
It was, I got a smoking deal on it. I feel really solid, and to be able to get in before interest rates went as high as they are.
Yes.
Feels really good. I think what I'm most excited about is the backyard, which needs a lot of work. And then probably just the entertainment. I can entertain people in it. We can have all the kids over, people running around. Like, it is a great house for family and friends to be a really central hub.
What projects have you done in this house so far?
Do they have to be completed?
No.
Okay. So backyard is obviously under construction. There's lots of huckleberries coming out and blackberries coming out. I mean, I'm going to be scarred for life with all of this. I've got like 10 giant trees to take out, which, by the way, I need a tree guy referral.
I have one of those.
Okay. Well, I knew you would.
Yes.
So I need that. Inside, I've installed 500 square feet of oak flooring, which I paid someone to install it, but then I sanded it and stained it and finished it, and I love it. So that's actually done.
Excellent.
That is a finished project. I mean, I redid a couple bathrooms. I have put some trim in.
And how did it turn out?
Listen, a man driving by on a bus is not going to complain. So I think my project truly right now, like when I think about this weekend, I need to paint some trim. Oh, yeah. I also did new stairs. I forgot I did the stairs. I love them.
You did the stairs.
They're really pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this weekend is going to be painting trim and probably taking out a couple more huckleberry bushes.
You painted the whole interior too.
I did paint the entire interior. I also got a bunch of siding redone.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I paid for that because siding's something you don't mess with. I mean, yeah.
You didn't ask me for a referral.
You know who I got the referral from, though?
Yeah.
The referral was from my agent, who you referred me to. Like, it's like I know, Hawkins Poe. Thank you, CJ. It is like all of my referrals eventually work their way back to you. So, and which is part of the reason I knew you're going to ask me, why do I work with you? You give me great referrals.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you've owned now 4 homes.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to a first-time home buyer looking in this market now? Because you still stay on top of the market. You understand where the market is. Rates are higher. Mm-hmm. Home affordability is definitely a little bit, well, it's the worst in history. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What advice would you give to a first-time home buyer?
Do it. Because it's only going to get more expensive. I mean, interest rates, I mean, I have my interest rate. I think my highest interest rate has been 6.99. My lowest interest rate has been 2.75. So it's like I've run the gamut. And that's all market, right? That's not necessarily like my, positioning as a borrower. So I think get into the market because homes, what I've seen, only get to be more expensive.
Yeah.
I've never regretted buying a home. I've regretted not buying a home sooner. And so I would say, just get into the market. Find professionals that you can trust and try and work within that group. So like I have had some great experiences. My last home buying purchase I didn't even break a sweat on it because I was like, you're the money guy. Hawkins and Poe are my agents. They'll find me the home. They'll do all the things. They'll go back and forth. And I just kind of sat back and ate bonbons. Like I wasn't stressed one iota. But I've also had situations where my lender and my agents were not working together, or I've even sold homes and then I had, my contractor and he was a different guy. And then so it's just very disjointed. And then all of a sudden now all the communication is on me. I don't need that. I'm already spending fuck tons of money. Like I don't need to be stressed out about communication.
Yeah.
Have a team that works together and things get done so much faster.
Yeah. Communication within the team, people overlook that, I think.
Yeah.
I've worked with agents that we don't communicate well with, and the only person that hurts is the borrower.
Yeah.
Is the home buyer. Because
then you're surprised, right? Or you don't hear about things, or you can sense that there's friction. That's got to be really hard when you have a situation like that. So
tell me more about your first lending experience where it wasn't like that.
My first lending experience.
And how do you avoid it?
So my first lending experience, right? So baby Lizzie May, my husband, baby at the time, right? We're super young. We have no idea what we're doing. Our lender was referred to us from our agent, who was actually referred to us from a friend. And he was fine. It wasn't transparent. I kind of didn't know what was going on. It was sign here, sign there. We were really like overwhelmed and sort of in awe of the process. I very much felt like I was a little kid with a seat at the adults table. Like I did not feel like I was legitimate to be there, which would go back to my advice to first-time home buyers. You are legitimate. You are the boss. Like everyone's working to support you. You're not a kid at the adults table.
Right.
So where it went south with my lender was we were refinancing the home. It was a rental property. We were living out of state. We wanted to pull some cash out. We had a couple of things we wanted to do, and we also wanted to start working on a down payment for home number 2. We were going to have 2 homes at once.
So let's go back to that real quick.
Yeah.
You said it was a rental property, but you bought that property.
Yes.
And lived in it.
Yes.
And you turned it into a rental property.
Yes.
Expand more on that.
Okay.
And would you do that again?
100% yes. I wish that we had held on to our second home in Tacoma. That would have been a great little rental. Or if we had held on to the one in Southern California, either one. We saw an opportunity. You see that equity that you have in it, and you're like, sweet, I'm going to get a check for whatever it is.
Yeah.
And we grabbed it, whereas that would have been twice what it is now. We would have still had the rent covering the mortgage. And actually now we would be getting a kickback, right? We would be cash flow positive.
Oh, yeah. While it's also appreciating.
Well, it's appreciating.
Yeah.
So that to me is something I absolutely regret. And I would say for your second time home buyers,
yeah,
if you can hold on to that starter home, beg, borrow, steal, and hold on to it.
Yeah.
Because it's only going to be worth more money.
And from the lending side, we have things that we can do to help you buy that second home while still retaining the first home.
Well, that was this cash out refi that you actually, well, I'll get to how we got to you. But where it soured with my lender is I went to him and said, hey, I want to do this cash out, all the things. And his communication sucked. It was in 2015-ish, 2016-ish. I don't know. What was the market doing? Were rates crazy? Everything was,
rates were actually pretty good then. They were probably in the 15, 16, I'm right around 5.
So he was saying, and maybe it wasn't the rate, but he was saying, oh, it's going to take 8 to 12 weeks to close. And then he wasn't calling me back. And I was like, your communication sucks. I have no idea what's going on. And this is the most important thing in my life. And clearly it's ranks, 1,000 on your list of priorities. So that's where I came to you at the bar and said, hey, buddy, do you know anyone? You ended up referring it out to someone in your office. And, that experience was fine. But what I liked about, even though I was working with someone else, is you were calling and checking in or, sending a couple emails saying, how's your experience? Is this person taking care of you? Was this a good referral? And you saw me through to the end, even though you weren't making any money off of it.
Yeah. And the reason why I couldn't do it back then is because I wasn't, and still am not licensed in California, but still have avenues to do other states, but yeah.
So you can do some out of states, but not California specifically?
No, I'm only licensed in Washington right now.
Okay. Would you ever go beyond Washington?
I am procrastinating because I have to take the federal test again because it's been so long.
Oh.
I'm not looking forward to the federal test. It basically has nothing to do with the day-to-day lending things. Mm-hmm. It's all about, it's just a fun test on RESPA and TILA and Reg Z.
You're saying words and you sound like a Charlie Brown teacher right now.
I know.
So we need to make a commitment that, hey, on this date, when are you going to have that done so that you can have a more robust, suite of offerings for your customers?
Is that what we're doing here?
Yes, we are.
We're making goals for me?
This is accountability hour.
No, it's not. No, it's definitely not.
Yeah. But, that's ultimately why, I have continued to be your client is because even when this wasn't your deal, you checked in and you made sure that I was taken care of all the way through. So that closed. And then when it was time to buy now home number 2, so loan number 3, I came to you. It was a no-brainer. I didn't even consider any other options because I trusted you. I knew you would follow through and I knew you would take good care of me.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that. Tell me about future plans. I mean, you've only been in this house for a short period of time, but
it's a long time for me, though.
It is. Since I've known you, you go from house to house to house. But
I do.
Talk about your 3 to 5 year goals in this house and maybe beyond. Like, what are you thinking? Yeah,
I think over the next 3 to 5 years, there's an extensive amount of deferred maintenance that I need to take care of in the home that I'm at. This is a long-term play for me. I've got young kids. I do want to be in this home through high school with them. We live at a place with great schools, great community. So it's going to be working through deferred maintenance and really making this a home that I can get old in.
Yeah.
Oh, which is crazy to think of. But, it's a big home and it'll probably be too big for me as I age and as I become an empty nester. I'm a single mom. It's just me. I don't know that I need 3,200 square feet or whatever it is. But for now, I'm enjoying it. So I'm going to work through deferred maintenance. And I think just continue to invest in it because I know this has really ultimately become a part of my retirement package, right? There's going to be, money in there that I know and I can go to sleep at night knowing that I will be able to not work until I'm 80 because of the money that I have invested and I'm growing in this home.
Talk about living. You've lived in California. You've lived in Tacoma. You've lived in Gig Harbor. You don't have to say Gig Harbor's your favorite.
No, it is.
I know it is your favorite. Okay.
Absolutely.
Tell me about the different places you've lived and why Gig Harbor's your favorite.
Yeah. So growing up in the Bay Area, the Bay Area was fantastic. It's changed. It's very crowded now. It's really more of a, metropolitan. It's busy, busy, busy. It's also just affordability. I look at my childhood home. I could not afford that if I gathered up 10 of my closest friends and we were all paying the mortgage. Property taxes alone are almost as much as my mortgage is each year. It's insane. So I think the Bay Area is just affordability, and anywhere I could afford to live, commuting is just not realistic. So that's out. I didn't enjoy Southern California. The people weren't right for me. People weren't as friendly. I never found my sense of community there. And it was very much bedroom communities commuting into areas. And I just didn't love it. Although I say that as I live in a bedroom community. I actually lived in Puyallup for 2 years.
Didn't know that.
Didn't know that about me.
Wow.
That is why I always recommend if you are moving to a new area, so here's for your first-time home buyers, rent for 6 months, rent for a year.
Figure out the area.
Because if I had purchased in Puyallup, I would have been really disappointed.
Yeah.
It just wasn't the right place for me. And so came to Tacoma, fell in love with the architecture, fell in love with the people and the schools and the walkability, and it was great. Tacoma's changing over time. Tacoma, it's a little bit of a tougher area to live in from a crime standpoint, from a theft standpoint. I want streets that are super safe for my kids to walk on.
Yeah.
And right now Tacoma struggles with that. And I think I think it will get better. I think it ebbs and flows. But right now, with it being just me and my two littles, it made sense for us to come to Gig Harbor where more of our people are, right? I've got friends and family that are over on this side of the bridge. Home affordability was reasonable too.
And you say that living in Ruston, which is the nicer area, one of the nicer areas of Tacoma.
Yeah. It still crept into our neighborhood. And I don't want to sound super, not in my backyard. There's a lot of things that Tacoma needs to address, like systemically, and that there is a lot of services that need to be better. We just need to do a better job by folks that are struggling.
Yeah.
But it's how do I balance that with, at the end of the day, I want my kids to be safe,
Which is Gig Harbor.
Which is Gig Harbor.
Gig Harbor I raised my kids in Gig Harbor.
Yeah.
I lived in North Seattle basically my whole life.
Is that where you grew up?
Yes.
Okay.
The shoreline area. When I got married in 1999, my wife said, move to Gig Harbor. And I'm like, for me, that was the end of the world. Like, you have to cross a bridge to get there. And she said, live here for a year, and if you hate it, we'll move back up to probably Edmonds, Linwood. It took me about 3 months, found some new friends, which I do easily.
Yeah.
Found some golfing buddies and playing cards, and I knew after about 3 months, literally Gig Harbor is home for me for probably the rest of my life.
I love that.
I do think that someday I want to live somewhere part-time where it's warm and sunny during the winter. But Gig Harbor is such a cool little community. It's not as little as it used to be. I think it's so funny, listening to my parents and stuff. Oh, back in the day, there was this. And I have these stories about Gig Harbor now, like where Costco in Gig Harbor North is. When I moved in, that was just woods. There was literally nothing there. And now there's Home Depot, Costco, Target, Albertsons, and
all the best places.
Thousands of homes.
Yes. Yeah.
Hundreds? I don't know. There's a lot of homes up there now.
So you see yourself growing old in this community?
I do.
Yeah. Me too.
It's kind of a perfect community for growing old. I don't know the average age of Gig Harbor, but we're not there yet.
No, we're not. That makes me feel young today. I like it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's a fantastic place to live. I feel every time I go over the bridge, I can sort of feel this. Because this is my second year here now. I guess I'm just over 2 years with the rental home. And it's like, oh, this is good.
Yeah, when I moved there was only one bridge, and I used to work in Auburn. And I would get off at about 5:30, between 4 and 6 every day.
Right.
And my commute home was horrendous. The bridge would be backed up all the way to the Tacoma Dome every day.
Oh, no.
That's after you get through the Fife traffic.
And then it's all of 16? Oh, God.
All of 16 was a parking lot from the Tacoma Dome to the bridge.
When did the new bridge open?
Oh, man. I'm guessing it was early 2000s.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know the exact date.
Man. Yeah,
I thought it was a joke. I'm like, this is stupid.
That the traffic, or that they're going to open up a second bridge?
No. I didn't think the traffic would be subsided by opening the second bridge, because it really goes back into 2 lanes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so what if there's a second bridge? It's still only a couple lanes.
Right.
It worked. And I'm happy to pay the toll to get to the Gig Harbor.
Happily pay the toll. Sometimes 2 or 3 times a day.
Yeah,
I feel like I just go back and forth over that bridge, but
$15 or $20 a day.
It's fine. No, it adds up. But it's better than driving all the way around, right? That's what they say.
That's a long drive.
I've done it before. It's terrible.
Yeah.
So.
Well, thank you for coming in.
Yeah.
And sharing your insights. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. This was fun.
Thank you for being an awesome, amazing client. Time and time again.
Thank you for taking care of me through 5 loans.
5 loans.
5 loans.
Yeah.
We need to refi. We need interest rates to come down. So
yeah, let's go. Come on, rates, come down. Refi in the books.
Done.
Well, thanks for listening, and thank you for being here. And it's another great day.
Thanks.